Hi, a very good morning to all of you. Uh, now today we are going to our text essay Dream Children a Reverie, written by the famous essayist Charles Lamb, and this belongs to his famous work Essays of Ilya, published in 1823 in London magazines with the pseudonym Ilya. Lamb has penned down the essays as personal accounts of his life. It is devoid of any moral lessons, as we can see in that of his contemporary essays like Bacon or William Hazlitt. It is really personal, and the 19th century literature is incomplete without him. And his essays create an atmosphere where you can really feel yourself. You can cry or you can laugh. It's a mixture of humor and pathos. It's a strange mixture, and it encourages you to think deeply. These essays are, mm, you know, these essays bring forward a love for literature. In his hands, the English essays become not a vehicle of ideas, but a plaything to be enjoyed. So it never happened before in English essays. This essay, it is enriched with humor and pathos and regret for time long gone. We are going to this. So he is really he is known as popularly as Prince of English Essayist and a master of personal essays. So now we are going to the text, Dream Children, a Reverie. So what is Dream Children? What is a reverie? A reverie is a daydream. So something we see when we nap for a minute. No, a daydream. It's not very deep dream, but a daydream. And the children participated in this dream are dream children. They have no real existence. That's why they are known as dream children. To the text. Children love to listen stories about their elders when they were children, to stretch their imagination to the conception of a traditionary great uncle or grandam whom they never saw. We all loved listening stories. Everyone loved listening stories, especially in childhood. We want to listen stories. So, as children love to listen stories about their elders, so their mother, their great grandmother, or their uncles, they want to listen their stories. When they were children, this "they" is italicized. What does it mean? They is elder. They is here elders, when elders were children. So those stories are very interesting to the children. They want to listen about their history, their ancestors, their father, mother, great grandmothers, to stretch their imagination to the conception idea. They are going to stretch their imagination. They are going to imagine about those elders about whom they are going to listen. Of a traditionary great uncle or grandam. What is traditionary? Traditionary, about whom people have heard only from others. There are no written documents or there is no evidence. They never have seen them directly. So such people, traditionary great uncle or grandam. Grandam means grandmother. So they love to listen stories about such traditionary grand uncle or grandam whom they never saw. It was in the spirit that my little ones crept about me the other evening to hear about their great grandmother field. So, same spirit of this children, my little ones, who are my the children in the story, in the essay. So my here is Charles Lamb himself, and he is represented as Ilya in this essay. So his children crept about him, crept about me. They came very closer, like they are so interested to listen a story. And it was an evening to hear about their great grandmother. So they want to listen a story about their great grandmother, great grandmother, Charles Lamb's grandmother. And this is a real lady whose name was Sarah Field. So Sarah Field is represented as Field here, who lived in a great house in Norfolk. So this place is also a real place, and there was a grandmother named as Sarah Field, and he lived in a great house also. These are all his personal accounts. That is why he is known as the master of personal essays. 100 times bigger than that in which they and Papa lived. So that house where his grandmother, the children's great grandmother lived, was very bigger than that in which they and Papa lived. They and Papa, children and the Ilya, children and Charles Lamb. Now at present where they are living is mentioned here. The grandmother's great house was far bigger than the house where they are living right now, which had been the scene. So that was the scene. That is the scene that he wants to portray here. So at least it was generally believed in that part of the country. So in that part of the country, Norfolk, this house was believed to be the bigger house, a great house. So that is the scene of the tragic incidents which they had lately become familiar with from Ballad of the Children in the Wood. So these children have come to know about a tragic incident from the ballad, the story in Children in the Wood. Children in the Wood is the ballad of the Children in the Wood. It refers to one of Percy's requests of ancient poetry, in which one story of two children is told. It is like this: the children inherited a property from their father. They were under the guardianship of this uncle, a particular uncle, their father's brother, who actually wanted to rob them of their property, and he entrusted some ruffians to kill them, some goons to kill them. So he wanted to inherit their property. Such a story, and this is a book, Children in the Wood, and there are many stories in it. So this tragic incident they came to know about from this book. How certain it is that the whole story of the children and their uncle was to be seen fairly carved out in wood upon the chimney piece of the great hall, the whole story down to the robin redbreast, till a foolish rich person pulled it down to set up a marble one of modern invention in its stead, with no story upon it. So, how they came to know about this story, which published in Children in the Wood. The whole story of the children, the tragic story, and their uncle was to be seen fairly carved out in wood upon the chimney piece of the great hall. So there was this chimney piece, and it was decorated with a wood. Chimney piece is where this fireplace, there is an enclosure of guarding the fireplace. In all Western films you can see a fireplace, because it is cold, very cold in winter there, so they have this fireplace. And in great bigger houses they decorate it with some wood. So in that wood the story had been carved from the beginning till end. The whole story of the children and their uncle was to be seen fairly carved out in wood upon the chimney piece of the great hall. The whole story down to the robin redbreast. So this story, at the end of the story, we can see a robin redbreast. This is a bird, American bird. It is called as redbreast because its breast color is red. So it is also called American robin, and through this bird the whole story is known to outer world. The uncle's villainy was revealed through these birds. So from the beginning till end the story was carved upon this wood with decorated and the chimney piece. Is that understood? This is a very long sentence. Till a foolish rich person pulled it down to set up a marble one of modern invention in its stead, with no story upon it. Till some rich person. So here it says that the house belongs to a rich person. Some rich person pull down, take down all these wooden carvings in which the story were carved down, and some foolish rich person pulled it down to set up a marble one. He made it with marble. The great hall and the chimney piece decorated with this natural wooden thing has been removed by a rich person and has been replaced with a marble one. Modern invention. Marble is a modern invention. Earlier people used only wood. They made house and everything with wood. So that was very natural. That was the ancient times. So it suggests how it is the whole history of all the times are brought back by Charles Lamb. So this rich person is mentioned as a foolish man because he didn't know the importance of this wooden carving. So he placed instead at that place where this wooden ornament existed, he removed it with no story upon it. Oh, and gradually marbles have no story upon it. Here Alice put out one of her dear mother's looks too tender to be called up braiding. So Alice, this is the first time the name of one of the children is mentioned. So what is her name? The girl is called as Alice. Alice put out one of her dear mother's looks. So when the narrator Elia, their father, said the story of how this wooden story thing had been removed by a rich person to replace it with marble, that look of the listener. Who are the listener? Alice and John. There are two children. So the Alice's look was exactly like their mother's. So there is a hint that mother is not there. Mother has passed away. Mother is not in that house. So that is why they are coming. They are depending upon the father much. So dear mother's looks. So it was like their mother's look. The way Alice looked at him, it was like their mother's look, too tender to be called up braiding. It was too tender. What is the meaning of braiding? Braiding is criticizing, angry, reproaching. So it was not that intense look, but a tender. So there are grades of your intensity of emotions. Like it was so tender to be called as a called it braiding, criticizing or angry. It was not that angry, but there was this because these children wanted that story thing as a decorated